Carlsbad, People, Purpose, and Impact, an essential podcast for those who live, work, visit, and play in Carlsbad.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. My name is Brett Schanzenbach. I am the president and CEO of the Carlsbad Chamber of Commerce, and I'm your host today. And I'm excited to have with me Ginger Rabe. Ginger is the CEO and owner of Ginger Rabe Designs. Good morning, Ginger.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So I was looking at your background and everything that led to you establishing your company, and it looks like you've had architecture and design and stuff kind of in your blood from the get-go. I mean, you went to school for it and you got a business for it. Yeah. Tell us what drew you into architecture and interior design, all that stuff in the very first place. What got you there?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I actually started when I was 10, which I never really thought I would actually do this as a business, but it started at 10 because my mom, she has this obsession with buying houses, redoing them, and leaving them and doing it again. And at 10 years old, she started having us carry in drywall and tile. And if we did it wrong, we had to redo it, and working and building. And so I think it started then. And whenever we would move, she would teach us how to draw up a floor plan, and we would design our own rooms and do that. And that went on for years and years. Yeah. And then I went to school to be a veterinarian to work with tigers.
Okay. Oh, how cool. I love tigers.
Yeah, and I actually did work with them. Then I was about to leave to go to UC Davis, and I was so burnt out. I was like, I don't want to do this. What do I want to do? And it came back to my original building, designing, and I went to school and just kind of fell into it, and it developed into what it is today.
Wow, that's fascinating. So as a child, you said you guys were doing this. So these were your own homes. You were flipping, for lack of a better term. You were, sprucing up and then selling and moving on. So these weren't investment properties.
No, they were our own home. We lived in them. And when they were done, she was like, her and my dad would be like, okay, let's go move somewhere else, buy another one and do it. And this has gone on for years. They're literally getting ready to sell another house to go do it again.
So they're still going.
They still do it.
Wow. And so then you caught the bug.
I caught it.
And so you went to school, after the veterinarian school, you went to school and got a master's in architecture. This was interesting. Yes. I hadn't heard this. Architecture and the Built Environment for Sustainable Design.
Yes.
That's a long title.
It's a very long title. So basically what it means is I can do designing, but we also do building within sustainability, and it says it's in the built environment. So we're taking architectural parts of buildings and we're setting them to see how they can work within a sustainable design or within the built environment, meaning we're using the environment, we're using the how the wind moves through a building.
Nice.
All of those things of how people move, how they interact, it's all within health, basically, and how to keep everything green and sustainable. So I take my undergrad of interior design and then my building background, and it kind of goes all in together in that. Yeah. So it's within we use what we have instead of just tearing things down and building new.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So as I was listening to you describe that, so things like the way the sun will hit a building, or like you said, airflow, all that stuff.
Yes, all of that. We do sun studies. We do Title 24, which is energy studies. We're all diverse in that. So
that's great. So interior design and then architecture and with that specialty. Now, it does say you went to Jefferson University in Pennsylvania. So how did you get back here from there? Or maybe you already were here and that was the excursion? Or?
I was already here. So at Philadelphia, they had an online program.
Okay.
So I was really lucky. Yeah. I was searching for a long time for a really good master's program.
Got it.
And I didn't find anything here. And so I went, I actually talked to the director and I was like, listen, I can't move. I have a company.
Right.
I love what I do. I love the sun.
Yeah, right.
So he actually developed this program, and he called me a year later and he's like, I have the program. Do you want to do it? And it was me and everybody around the world. It was probably one of the best experiences I had.
Wow.
And it was a really great college too. So I was lucky.
Oh, that sounds excellent. So coming back to your company, Ginger Rabe Designs, you guys established in 2005. Mm-hmm. So we're getting really close to 20 years.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fantastic. Most companies don't make it even 5 years.
Yes, I know. It's shocking.
Yeah, and here you are. There's a lot of tidbits here I'm going to enjoy drawing out here, but you guys have your office in the Village here in Carlsbad.
Yes.
And has that been since the beginning, or is that
No.
okay? How long have you been in the Village?
Coming up on 3 years now.
Okay.
I waited a long time to do it, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah. And so were you more like remote based before that, or you had your office somewhere else and you moved here?
I had them everywhere else. So I did have them in my home in North County, and then I moved up towards Orange County and had it there for a really long time, probably almost 6 years.
Got it.
And the funny thing is I decided to come back to having my office space in North County right before the pandemic.
Okay.
And it just happened that during one night at 4 a.m. of working, I looked online and saw that the office space I'd been waiting for years was available, and I immediately rented it.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
That's awesome. So that's great. We are excited to have you here in our home in Carlsbad. So that's wonderful. And looking at your website, you've been featured in a lot of interesting publications and magazines and things like that. Talk about that a little bit.
Okay. So being featured, it's great to be featured. You will laugh because actually we joke that all of the magazine articles are in my office behind me. I have to do a lot of Zoom calls. I have lots of clients all over the country.
Sure.
And we call it the Wall of Shame as a joke.
Come on. That's a wall of fame, not shame.
We joke because we just love our job so much. The whole firm. Everybody in my firm is great. And we love what we do. So we never really think about that. But I've been very blessed to have people want to feature me, and all I ever do is talk about what we do and why we love it. So I think that's why it comes across. I'm extremely passionate about what we do. So
yes.
Like Kitchen and Bath Design magazine features us all the time. I've been very lucky to judge other designers and builders and architects, and I've been in multiple magazines. So it's really great. But all I want to do is pretty much kind of educate everybody on our industry. So I love it and it's great, but we just joke about it all the time. So
that's great. That's fun. And so you talked about your team. How big is your team?
So we actually have a team of 5.
Okay.
And soon to maybe be 6. We're talking about bringing somebody else on. I have our immediate team, and everybody sees them. They're all kind of have their own job in their own department, and so you see them in and out. And then I have my entire team with my contractor and all of our guys that work for us. So I have 2 cabinet makers, actually, one in Orange County for our big jobs, and one here. And Jason has been with me forever.
Nice.
And we have Charles, who's my contractor. We have a lot of within our team. So technically our team is about 20 strong.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, that's great. All right. We're going to take a brief pause. We're talking to Ginger Rabe from Ginger Rabe Designs. And when we come back, we're going to talk about all the different great things that they do and services that they provide. So stay with us. We'll be right back. So Ginger, before the break, we were just talking about your team and how awesome it is. So I would like to draw out some of the specific things that you guys have done and do. So first of all, though, I want to have you talk about the design build concept, because you talk about that on your website. And I've heard that term before, but A, what is it? And B, why is it a better way to go for somebody who's looking to get something remodeled or done, et cetera?
So design build is exactly what it says. It's doing interior design, designing, and building. So I love construction. So I always wanted to do that, and finishing my general contracting license and all those things so I can do both. Design build basically means we design it from the beginning. We're starting from the beginning. So we're doing a whole design for a house to build from the ground up. We're designing it from the beginning, how the house will look, how the architecture will look, doing the construction documents within my drafting department, and then we take that and we actually build it. But it's great because from the beginning, we all know what the very, very end goal looks like from the very last light fixture, table, carpet, all that's going to be. So from doing it from the beginning, there's no roadblocks. There's no, hey, we're just going to build this. And then we come in and we're like, well, the wall's in the wrong place, or we really need a plug there. And now we have to open the walls back up, and it's going backwards. So instead, we move forward because we all know the whole plan. From my contractor, my designers, and the clients, we all are so involved that it's actually saves money. It's an investment, and investments are costly, and mistakes are costly, and so we avoid all of that from the very beginning. So we're fully engrossed.
So it sounds like there would be a lot less chance for miscommunication, misunderstanding of something, because it's all holistically together. Is that fair?
Yes, very much. That communication is a huge thing, and that's why we started from the beginning. So my first meeting with a client, my first consultation, we say is 90 minutes. It's honestly 3.5 hours. We sit there for a really long time, go over all of the things that can happen. Then we come back and we talk about the design, and we do 3D designs with them. And then when they say, oh, that's great, we do the construction documents. Then I sit with my contractor and my whole team, and we go over it, and then we start to implement it. It saves so much time and so much money.
Yeah,
and so many problems on the job site.
It makes sense. It sounds logical when you kind of lay it out, so that's great. I saw on your website that you guys will do ADUs. That's got to be a pretty popular thing here in Southern California these days, right?
Yes.
Like everybody's pushing them and everybody's interested in having one done. So have you guys done a lot of those?
We have. We've designed probably 10 of them. We've built probably 5 of them. We're about to build 4 more. We've got construction documents for 3 more. So we're constantly doing, and it's fun.
Yeah.
It's like our little fun area.
So give us a little, because anybody listening to this podcast has probably already thought about doing one or knows people who have done one or are thinking about it. So tell us the different scope and sizes of ADUs that you guys have seen or recommend. Or
we have there's so many. And so I'm really lucky. So another part of me that I actually decided to do as to give back to my industry is I actually teach masters in designing and building.
Nice.
And a lot of it is codes. I know codes like no tomorrow from every city. So we have 3 different sizes, right? From a 600 to a 1200, attached, detached. So knowing all of this, I'm able to start with them like, well, how big do you want it? This is how big you're allowed. This is how high you can go. This is how many rooms you can have. So we start with that, and we talk about like the fun reasons why you want to have it and what it's going to look like. But then we get into the down and dirty stuff of this is codes, this is how much you can have. And so it comes out to be a fun project in the end. And we've done one as small as 500 square feet. That was a rental.
Yep.
We are about to do another one that's 700 that a family is going to use for their mother-in-laws.
Yep.
And we're about to do a 1,200 square foot, which is basically the size of a small 2-bedroom house on a property. So this entire family can live all together within the property. Wow. They have a business together. They live together. Yeah. So we're about to start that one as well. So they're fun, but there's a lot that goes in it with the city. Right. So we work with the city a lot, work at the building department a lot. There's all of that.
I'm curious, that 1,200 square foot one, is that like more in like county unincorporated? Yes. Yeah, I was going to say.
It is.
Because most of the incorporated cities, I don't think they let them go quite that big.
You can push it to that far depending on lot size.
Got it.
If you have a big lot, you're allowed to. It's hard in Carlsbad. We don't have lots that big anymore.
Right.
We used to, not so much now. So we're, you're about the $600 to $700 dollar. Yeah. So that'd be nice, 600 to 700 square foot range.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned like a family member moving in. Of course, we used to refer to these as granny flats back in the day, but there's so much more than that these days. And so now, of course, the accessory dwelling unit. Well, that's great. And then I also saw that you guys did work on MCRD on Camp Pendleton.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about that project.
Oh, man, that was so long ago, and almost the beginning of my career. It wasn't that long, maybe. Oh, my son. So how I always figure out how long I've really been doing is how long my son works for us and has been in this forever. So he had to be about 5 or 6 a long time ago.
Did he start by bringing tile and drywall just like you did for your mom and dad?
He used to actually go with me. It's a funny side note real quick is he went with me to a fabric store to pick out drapes for this very high-end client. And he would play with everybody. And I was like, oh, I need blue fabric with brown. And he, in the stroller, pushed him along. He's like, here, Mom, use this one. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And he's like, please, please, please show it to her. She picked it. It's still in her house.
My goodness.
She spent a lot of money. I'm like, a 2-year-old picked that out.
He's got the eye.
Yeah, he does. And he works for me. He project manages for me, all that stuff.
That's fantastic.
But we did go to MCRD in Camp Pendleton many years ago. And it was such a great experience. I was brought on by somebody who already was because you have to be part of the military or insured with them. So they brought us on as just designing and consulting. And so we got to do probably 6 mess halls from officers to under. And they were all, back then, we actually made them so that when they came in, it was a place for your mind to relax.
Nice.
So it was like healthy living and relaxing. Way back then, we already thought of that. And now today, we still do it today. They are 100% incorporating that. They want them to come out of the field, take a break.
Decompress.
For their mental health, and then go back out. So we were doing it back then, and I love it. I think it's really fun.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. That's great. So remodels, you mentioned it already, but that's a big deal. So talk about that. Kitchens, baths, homes in general. What do you...
All of it.
Yeah.
We do it all. Yeah, we love our kitchens and baths. We do lots of remodels with our kitchens and baths. Like I said, we make our own cabinetry. We install it. We do it all. So we design it from the beginning, install it all. I love doing the kitchens. We're able to open it up, bring the family back together, give everybody what they didn't know they wanted, and they fall in love with their homes all over again. So we're not buying and selling and buying and selling and demolishing, and we open up the homes, and so we're always doing some type of construction and design in there. But our kitchens and our baths are a fun thing.
Yeah,
it's easy, it's simple, we love it.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And then again, on your website, it looks like if somebody wanted it, you guys would just come in and work as design consultants rather than doing all the work, or just doing drawings or something like that. So talk about that.
We do have between other designers that ask us to come along, or just clients that always say, well, we already have our contractor and our builder. Can you help me just design? Can you help me just draw? We do that all the time. We always say we fit in where you need us.
Got it.
So I have a team that's a drafting and 3D department, and they will sit down and we'll draft everything up or design it, and I'm involved in all of that. So we have that, and we'll pass off the drawings, and they take it to their contractors and do it. I have some clients that come in and they're like, I just need some flooring and some tile, like help me design it, and we'll do that. So we have small services too. Everybody thinks, oh, it's a design firm, I can't afford it. You can. Everybody can. You just have to come in, and we have to have a conversation, and what do you want, and let's help you out. And so we're able to make sure everybody can get something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. And I saw you kind of mentioned it in passing, but I saw that you are either currently working on or just recently got your own general contractor license for yourself.
I'm working on it. So I'm just waiting for my actual test date. So I've been knowing how, like I said, to do this since I was 10.
Yeah.
My crew has bugged me for 10 years. Do it. Because my contractor takes it all over. I know how to build. I can build you a house. Do I want to? No. Am I going to? I don't want to do that anymore. But my whole crew is like, just do it so you can tell us what to do. And, California has their codes and their laws. Right. And so we abide by that. And so they're just ready for me to incorporate everything as I always have done. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm just waiting for them to give me my date, take my test. I'm still going to do the same thing. But they just want me to, as always, take care of everybody.
Well, and it sounds like it opens up more flexibility for you when you have that. So, and one of the things about podcasts is we don't really know where this will go, right? It could be people all over this country and all over the state listening. So I noticed that you guys currently have clients and some form of operations in San Diego, LA, Santa Barbara, Palm Springs. Mm-hmm. So you're all over Southern California.
Yeah, I love it. We're all over. We're actually in the process of looking for an office in Santa Barbara.
Wow.
So we can be up there. I'll be up there a few days a week when that happens. But yeah, we're all over. My clients are all over the country. Okay. A lot of times this is their second home, third home. Sure. Or they are moving here. So because of that, I make sure we're accessible to where we need to be or where they go. So and I like to travel. Yeah. I don't want to be just stuck in one place. So we move
come on,
around.
You live in paradise.
I know.
So,
you got to leave so you can remember why you're here.
Well said. Well said. Go somewhere else and realize why the sunshine tax we're all paying is worth it. Yeah. No, that's great. Your website, I would assume that's a great place for somebody to start if they wanted to contact you and find out more and start the process. What's your website?
So our website is my name, and then I always say designs with an S. So it's Ginger Rabe Designs, and it's RAB as in boy, E as in Edward. We always say that because it's the weirdest name, and it looks like Rabe. But that's usually where they can start. They can start there to call us and our contact information, or fill out. There's a form on the consultation side that you can fill out a form, and it comes straight to us, and we'll contact you and make an appointment. That's usually, or people just come on by and say hi.
Come down to the village.
Yeah, exactly.
So Ginger, Ginger, Rabe, Rabe, Designs with an S, .com, right?
.com.
Okay, yeah. GingerRabeDesigns.com. And I saw, you have rescued a couple pups along the way, it looks like, and they're now office dogs or something?
They are office dogs. They live pretty much in my office. Yeah, we have a pug, and then we have a mix, and everybody loves them. They come everywhere with us. They've been around forever, and they just want to hang out with you, which is hard because everybody wants to play with them. I'm like, okay, we have to work, or we need to meet, but they hang out all the time, and they're with my son. My son will bring them to the office or to the job site, usually is what happens, but yeah, they hang out.
And so how old's your son now?
He is 17 going on 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he'll be finishing his last year of high school, but he has been honestly, he's been working with me since he's 13.
Nice.
Yeah, he's been with us. He knows probably more than my crew knows about this entire.
And does he want to continue on?
He does, but he's actually going to go off to the fire department when he finishes.
Oh, okay.
But he's always going to be involved as he's going to eventually become part owner of the company. And he's part of our other company. We have a podcast starting, and he's the producer and owner of that. So he will never leave this industry.
Great. Yeah. Tell everybody about your upcoming podcast.
So our upcoming podcast is going to be called Single Stories. It's a play on a single story home, as well as our industry, what goes on in it. We'll have people that come in and are experts that can talk to you about it, as well as a play on mine and my son's whole life of growing up in this industry. So it's kind of just more of a fun, informative kind of a podcast.
Very fun. Single Stories. Very cool. So you'll be launching that
this summer.
Okay.
Yeah, we're producing it right now.
All right. Well, everybody, you're getting the pre-release notice, so keep your eye out for Single Stories. And I assume once it's released, your website will probably have a link to it?
Yes, exactly. We're working on that right now, too.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come down and share with us and talk to us about your company and all your services. We're very fortunate that you found your home here in Carlsbad, and it's great to have you in our chamber family. And look forward to many more years of you being here. I
don't plan on going anywhere. We plan on being here forever. So even if I open another office, I'm not leaving.
Fantastic. Well, thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I loved every part of it.
Great. Thanks for joining us on our Carlsbad People, Purpose, and Impact podcast today. If you enjoyed it, please hit the follow button on wherever you get your audio. And please tell a friend. We would love to hear your feedback, which you can share at carlsbadpodcast.com. You can leave us a review, ask a question, or leave an audio comment, which we can play on the show in the future. And that's all we have for today. Can't wait to see you next time on Carlsbad People, Purpose, and Impact. And remember, share some kindness today. It's free, creates goodwill, and makes you feel great.